He's ready to play right by now, yeah?
Finally, man. Finally. Ready to hit somebody that's not wearing crimson. That is the dream. That's why we play football, to hit other people, not our own teammates.
Ready to actually hit a quarterback, too.
Yeah, no, really excited this week. We got a great game plan to stop this guy. As a freshman last year, very accurate guy, so we got to get him rattled early on. New O-line, a lot of guys who are coming in, transferring in, so hopefully we can kind of get after them before they start meshing together and becoming a really strong unit.
Just, for you and Ron, obviously, it's just not common to see sixth-year players with NIL and the transfer portal, and especially of your guys' caliber. What do you think your loyalty and his loyalty kind of say to maybe what's a rarity in college football nowadays?
I mean, I just think it comes down to, loyalty, like you said. Washington State took me when I was a 6'4", 210-pound edge who didn't really have a lot of pass rush moves. And they kind of built me into what I am today. And I feel like I kind of, not necessarily owe them, but I'm so grateful for what they've done. And so I want to give back to the school as much as I can. And amidst all the turmoil with NIL and coaching changes and whatnot, I'm a Washington State Cougar. That's what I am. My mom has a tattoo on her wrist and all that stuff. I bleed crimson and gray. So just that was never an option in my mind. I love this school. I love everybody I've ever met here. All the memories I've made here. And when I have kids one day, when I have a wife one day, trust me, when we have a little den down there, it's gonna have Washington State Cougar stuff all over it.
6'4", 210 with fake glasses. Let's not forget that.
Fake glasses and a bad haircut. Chia pet.
How do you feel like your leadership and RJ's leadership has impacted not just this team but teams of the past?
I think it's just a determined mindset. I think with me and RJ, we've just been very consistent with how we've kind of been leaders. He's more a vocal guy. I'm more of a lead by example. I'm trying to become more vocal as the years have gone on. I think I've gotten better at that. But at the end of the day, we just try and touch everybody we can on this team. We try and hear everyone's story and kind of just build them up, because I feel like we have so many talented individuals here that just lack some confidence here and there. And if we can kind of put some of our confidence into them and show them they deserve to be here, and you see so many guys grow so quickly. For example, Buddha. He's a guy who just needs a little bit of confidence, and you just see what he can do. He roared throughout all fall camp. He's an amazing player. Ansel, same thing. Bobby, all the guys in our edge room, for example. It's just putting confidence into them that they can compete at this level, they're here for a reason, is just huge, because once they feel that for themselves, they're lights out there.
What are some of the things you're saying to the younger guys who are going to be experiencing this for the first time here?
One of the things I always say, and they always laugh at me, it's dude, you're better than I was at your age. Honestly, at their age, they are so skillful, they're a lot farther along in their skill sets than I was when I first got here. So when I tell them that, they're like, oh, you're BSing me. Oh, you're kidding. I'm like, no, dude, understand that you are so gifted. And if you just add the work to it over these next few years, you're going to be better than me and RJ were. And that's the goal, right? It's to build people up. And so the next step is that they're better than we were. And then it keeps going and compounding. That's how you get a top 25, top 10, number one team in the country, is that each year the guy that gets recruited below you learns from the guy above them and become even better. And we have a lot of pride in that. When I leave here, I want Ram and I want Andrew and I want Quinn to all be better, have better stats than I ever did, right? That's the goal. I want my name to be on that top 10 leaderboard. And then 2 years later, it's off the leaderboard again, because that means we're getting better, we're growing.
Have you thought about being a motivational speaker?
No. No, the thing is, my speaking kind of came from this. When I first did interviews, I was, that was a long time ago. I did my first interview. And I think over time, you just kind of get comfortable with it. And I just, try and make the most fun out of this, because obviously this is I'm having fun playing football, and this is a part of it.
Is there something fun about the challenge of opening the season on the road in a hostile environment? Jake said yesterday that he'd rather prefer, obviously, opening up here, but you guys are going to be in Fort Collins, and it's obviously much more challenging that way on the road.
Well, I love adversity to open up the season to really test where the team's at mentality-wise. We always talk about mindset over mentality, and I think going on the road first is going to test our mentality. It's going to be higher elevation. We're going from where we're at to 5,000 feet. It's going to be really important we hydrate this week, and then just going in there and being in a hostile environment. When we make plays, they're going to be booing, right? The best thing is when you start home, it's all the success, it just gets amplified. But on the road, it's the team that's there and the fans, they don't want you to succeed. So just being able to go out there in a hostile environment, perform, and exceed all expectations, and be consistent with our reads and everything we're doing, all of our plays. That's going to be a great start to the season when you get a dub out there.
How important is it to, grab a win and get off to a good start to the season?
We talk about fast start all the time, and I think it translates to a game in general. A team that scores first usually wins the game, and the same thing with the season. If you get that first dub off a rip, like that's huge momentum boost to start the season off, and then going into a game like Wisconsin and whatnot, coming off with the 1-0, then 0-1 is going to build a lot of confidence going into that game. But right now we're all focused on Colorado State. They're a great team. They're led by a great coach, and they got a lot of guys that could be playmakers. So it's going to be very important this week that we're locked in and we don't rest on what they did last year, and it's a new team this year.
I think outside of the the COVID year, this is the first time you've gone on the road to start the season since 2018.
Wow, that's really? Oh my gosh.
Kind of piggybacking off what Julian said. Is there any difference to a week one road trip versus one in the middle of the season?
It's for me, being 6 years here, I've kind of gotten used to the lay of the land when it comes to road trips. For freshmen and guys who are traveling for the first time, maybe a little different. It's nice to actually be in school for the first couple of weeks and not be on the road and get into a routine and whatnot. But I think we have a very mature team. The leaders are going to make sure everyone's right, and it's a business trip at the end of the day. Like, we're going down there to Fort Collins to get a W. So, like I said, we'd love to start at home. Everyone loves that feeling, but I'm also really excited to see what we can do with a little adversity to start our season.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Mom.